We live.
Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? It's Speak Up on HighVibe. I am Akema.
I'm One Way. Good morning. What's good, y'all?
How was your week?
My week was solid. A lot of work. A lot of work put in. Bags under my eyes.
Are they Gucci?
Definitely Gucci though. How about you?
Mine are Versace.
Use Versace.
No, my week was it was long, to be honest. It feels like last Monday was like 3 weeks ago.
Really?
Yeah.
What'd you do last Monday?
Last Monday I did this.
You did this. The most important thing ever.
No, truly. Last Monday I did this. I had class. I ran around, did other things. But that was just like basically the week. And then the weekend was crazy.
Yeah, let's talk about the weekend.
Ooh.
That girl is a real crowd, please. I heard you was out.
I was out and about. I was like a little social butterfly or whatever. No, it was my sister's birthday. Shout out to Chantel.
Shout out Chantel.
She had her birthday this weekend, so we went out and we went to go watch Tajay perform. She did amazing. And then after that, we went to this Jamaican club called Jamaican Gates. Mm-hmm. It wasn't like super lit in there, but we made it lit. So it's just like that wine was so dirty. It was that dirty wine, guy.
It was that dirty wine. Tell me about it.
And then after that, we went home. We grubbed.
Did they have that Kevin Little in there?
The who?
Kevin Little.
What's that?
You don't know that song?
No.
Let me hold you.
Oh, yeah. Did they play that? I'm going to be so honest
Can't
with you.
be no Jamaican Gates if you
I'm
don't
going to
hit me
be
with that.
so honest with you. I don't remember the music that they played. Mm-hmm. I remember I got picked up. And I remember there was this girl who had on this red outfit. And all I kept thinking about was like, wow, I wonder where she got that outfit. But it was way too loud in there to ask. And we were there to the end. And I was just like, I'm ready to go home. And then after that, we ate. I had a vegan burger and some mac and cheese. That was so good. And then we had a lunch for her birthday because her birthday was Sunday. Right. But we started it off on Saturday. And got lit. And then
48 hours to turn up.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah. And, okay, there's a story that I was meaning to tell you. Like, so I went to go buy her a balloon for her birthday. I went to the Dollar Tree. And when I was getting into my car, the balloon flew out and it flew away. And it flew away, and I was like, I literally stood there and watched it, and I was like, my balloon! I'm screaming in the middle of the freaking parking lot, my balloon! This guy pulls up, and he was like, oh no, your balloon! And I was like, yeah, my balloon. And he was like, okay, we're about to go buy some more. So then he goes in, he buys like 4 more balloons, because I only had one. I was gonna be cheap, let's buy her one. But he grabbed her like 4 more balloons, and then he paid for them. And I was like, oh, that's a bet. I went home, went to her house, and then I gave her everything, and I told her about everything. And she was like, oh, the universe on my birthday. Because like she was born on Earth Day as well, and she's very like naturalistic. It was just a really funny coincidence.
Yeah, no. Universe wasn't finna have you going outside.
Exactly. I was trying to do something like really nice for her.
It's power of intention.
Exactly. There you go. Exactly. So it's just like, yeah, he was like a little angel that day. He had he kind of reminded me of Snoop Dogg, like a light-skinned, short version of Snoop Dogg. Yeah,
but polar opposite of Snoop Dogg. Polar opposite of Snoop Lion and mine.
So it's oh, does he not go by Snoop Dogg no more? It's Snoop Lion.
It's still Snoop Dogg. It's still Snoop Dogg, but he has documentaries and all types of stuff with Snoop Lion. Oh, it's just a little ad.
Now that he does gospel music, what is he gonna call himself?
Snoop Pastor.
Snoop Pastor. Father Snoop.
That would be better though.
Father Snoop.
Forget what I just said. That would be better though. Father Snoop in the building.
Yeah. Father Snoop. Okay. What about you? What you do this weekend? Did you get turned? Did you get lit? I can't believe you. Was it
I
the real turn up?
I didn't. It was a lot of working out and going to work and then, relaxing on Sunday.
That's what's up. That is completely what's up. I needed Sunday to recoup and relax. I think Sunday night was like when I got home. It was that bed, and there was nothing else. That phone was off. I was only
phone
about
was all the way off this weekend. Shut that down.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, talking about my sis, and we'll get into this topic. You ready?
Definitely ready.
So the topic is cutting off family. I'm not cutting you off, girl. I just want you to know I love you. But cutting off family, or people that are that close to you. I think cutting off family and cutting off really close friends is kind of a different thing. But like whenever you start bringing people into your environment and then you start like feeling like they're family, that's a whole different cut off than a cut off of just friends. Yeah. Have you ever had to cut off family?
Yeah, I'm definitely had to cut off family. Like when I was 11, things were getting too hot in the crib between my family and my dad. He started becoming just over controlling.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of things, alcoholism type
Right.
shit. So when I was 11, we cut him off.
Yeah.
He would make calls like to see how I was doing like once or twice a year.
Yeah.
But for like the last 10 years, I haven't seen him face to face.
Yeah.
But it's not like bad blood. It's just that it was just like, I gotta leave you
An
in the back
understanding,
burner. You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? I have to leave you in the back burner. That was the first ever official family cut off.
Yeah.
And then right now it's not really I'd say the full snip cut off, but it's nice distance between me and my family. It's lone wolf season right now. You know?
I feel that.
Speak up.
I feel
HighVibe.
that. I don't think I've ever had to necessarily cut off family. It was the sheer fact of like we both had an understanding that we don't speak. And then whenever we get around each other, it's just on some very cordial surface level things, but it's not like, oh, let me get you in on all the details of my life or anything like that. So I think that's a trend in all of like from across the board, from family to friends to like associates or whatever. If I feel like if I'm not the one putting in that real effort, then it's just going to end up falling by the wayside, and then we both kind of like, it's not really worth to keep going on it. But I don't know. Do you think you're worth keeping in your like people's lives?
Do I think I'm worth it?
Yeah. Like, I mean, like if a family member came to you and was like, I can't really, have you around, blah, 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 something. Do you think you're worth like fighting to keep in their lives?
That's a good ass question. I would say definitely.
Yeah.
Coming from my perspective of it.
Yeah.
But
and looking on the outside, looking in.
Yeah, outside looking in, I would say definitely. Start off with like just on me, but I don't be causing major problems to people's hearts.
Right.
Besides, you know what I'm saying, like I guess I was a headache for my mom just because I was so much of a black sheep. Not that I was anything that was what's the word I'm trying to use? Detrimental. You know what I'm
There
saying?
you
It's
go.
not
That
like,
was a nice word.
You know what I'm saying? It's not like okay.
I'm dead.
Nah, but it's not that I was trying to be a liar, be conniving, or do anything, stab backs or anything.
Right.
It's just that it was obvious I was a black sheep. In the
Yeah,
family.
yeah. I feel like I'm a black sheep when it comes to, not black sheep, but I'm very different from my brothers.
Right.
Yeah, I have two older brothers, and we all three are very, those two have more of a tendency to be able to have conversations and be able to, like, stay. I'm so, like, I don't have anything to really say. They talk about a lot of, like, up and coming, like, how do I say this, topics about, like, Cardi B or Offset or stuff like that. And it's just like I don't really keep up with stuff like that. So then I kind of just am sitting there and I'm just like, so do you guys know what's going on in Syria? And they're like, nah, that's not my problem. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, cool. Who wants a vegan burger? They don't eat. They eat meat, so it's not like they eat vegan. And I definitely got ridiculed so much whenever I first went vegan from my family. But It happens.
It happens.
It happens.
Ridicule definitely comes from, you know, saying the family if
Yeah.
you're trying to make a different move.
Yeah,
different
no, definitely.
statement.
I think I got my thick skin from my family because they are always the quickest ones to give their opinion and their judgment. Like when I cut my hair, my brother was like, I don't think you should keep it cut. You might need to go back to having wigs. He was like, you just don't have the face for it. You have such a small head. And I was like, okay, cool. I'm so glad I came over here just to say hi, but cool, I'm going to go now. Like, that's just always the conversations. But, I mean, have you ever tried to cut off anybody, like your family or whatever, and they didn't get the memo, so then you had to, like, be like, okay, listen, it's...
I mean, nah, because it's all love. Like, it's the family. I've been there with them before there was anybody else. So it's like, it's a cutoff, but it's always up for, you know, just...
deliberation.
Not even deliberation. Just like, it's up for... It's just in the air. God gonna fix it.
Yeah.
If there's a real problem.
I feel like I'm, like, the opposite of that, to be honest. Like, I'm just, like... Once I decide that I don't want to have anything to do with you, I'm just like, okay, I don't want, it's not going to be a convincing me of, oh, I'm better, or I do better, or blah, blah, blah. You could do everything amazing in your life after the point I cut you off at, but you will never be at the point of what you were to me before I cut you off, because it's just like, I already gave you that chance to be the person I thought you were going to be, the person that you said you were going to be to me, the trustworthy, the loyalty, the respect, or whatever, you know, that's what I thought you were going to do. So now I will always hold in my heart that possibility that you could switch up.
Do you talk about that with your fam, or like let them know that's what you were expecting out of them?
Oh yeah. It's not even, it's like things that have happened were like happening before it was even like necessary for me to say, hey, I'd like to be respected. I'd like to have some loyalty. I'd like for me to be able to trust you. It was like trust was, you know, neglected right off the rip. You know, loyalty was a problem way before I even knew what it was. You know what I mean? So it's like, I saw that you could do that before I even had the knowledge of what the gravity of those three things were. So now it's like, I don't really want to put myself in the position to be hurt like that again if I did bring you back into my life.
From anybody or just them?
Anybody. But like especially, I will say I'm harder on my family. I'm definitely harder on my family because I have the idea that it should be more of, I don't know. I feel like with family, it should be more of, I'm going to do my best to be, if I'm a crappy person to the world, I'm going to do my best to be the best for you because that's family. That's blood. That's where, you know, the roots are. But that's not the case. I feel like maybe I'm just weird about it, but that's just not the case a lot of the times. It's like everybody's better to the world, and then when it comes to family, it's just like, well, it's family.
1,000,000% true in my house.
Yeah, it's just family, and I'm just like, I've come to this point where I'm like, I don't care if that's what your ideology is. Since we don't agree on it, let's just cut it. Like, let's just keep it at very surface level, cordial, whatever. But don't come to me thinking that I'm gonna be family for you when you are not family for me, when it's not a mutual understanding.
Right.
So, yeah, I think that I haven't had to cut off, not necessarily cut. It's really hard for me to say I've cut off family, but I definitely have, you know, put less effort into my family than people would probably like.
Have you moved away from family before?
Yeah, definitely. I have family in St. Louis that I moved away from. On my father's side, the Nigerian side of my family, I moved away from them. And then, but I don't think it was necessarily that they weren't necessarily harmful to any of the situations that were going on. It was mostly that they just weren't helpful. And it's whenever they could have helped. Right. And it was just like, okay. It was just like they could have been there in different ways than just, they were kind of like, okay, well, you're going through something rough. I won't add anything to it, but I just don't, I'm not going to help you either. So it's like, I'm not going to hurt your situation, but I'm not going to help it either.
Right.
So it's just like, okay, cool, thanks, we're going to just go.
But that was after a reach out from, like, your fam? Or
yeah, we definitely reached out, like, a couple times. But it was just, whatever, it's family. And so, like, now I'm just, like, I find myself, it's bad, but I find myself looking for family or looking for that really concrete bond in other people instead of in my family, because I don't feel like that's something that I will necessarily get easily from my family.
Definitely not. So
it's just like whenever I go out and I have, you know, these really good friendships that I make, I hold on to them as much as especially becoming like an adult and having these friendships in adulthood and understanding the foundations that I want. I hold on to them a lot more, and I'll work on them a lot more. I'll put more effort into them than mending or working or fixing or whatever relationships with my family, because it's just like, you've had 20 years.
Yeah.
20 years, and you've done nothing with it. And here I am being friends with my longest friend right now is probably 8 years. And, like, we're definitely she's a lot more like family to me than family, you know what I mean? And, like, my sis, she's not, like, my real sister.
She still would be if she lived with you?
If she lived, that's the thing. If she lived with me, if all of my friends who are like really close, really close to me, like family, lived with me and like got to know me beyond just the not quick little hangouts, but like the years that we've known each other from back and forth, I feel like it's still, we would understand if we could solidify that relationship more. Like if it could be more of a closer bond, if anything. But I don't feel like it would be like, oh, I cannot stand this woman at all. I need to go. I need to just be done. But I don't know. I don't feel like I'm a bad person to live with. I don't feel like I'm bad.
Do you think that you have any personal traits that make it hard for family to want to help you as much as you think that you should be helped, or want to be as trustworthy as you want them to be?
No. I think that I have personal traits that might make it hard to be around for too long, but to help when it's family, like, I mean, that's hard for me to say, because, like, it depends on what kind of help it. If I just need, like, oh, I need just, like, $5 for gas, it's just like, that's something. But if it's like, oh, I need, like, I need you to help me with my medical bills or something like that. Like, I feel like that's more of a family way to, like, go in, regardless of how annoying you think I am or how know-it-all you think I am or whatever. You should still, like, try to go in and help as much as you possibly can, because it's family. Well, that's what's always preached, is that, oh, it's family, so you do what you can for your family, blah, blah, blah. But, I mean, I think we all know in reality, when it comes down to it, it's not that at all. You don't do what you can for family. You do what you want for family.
You do what you want for family or everybody?
I mean, you do what you want for everybody. That's true. No. That's definitely true. But it's like sometimes what you want can correlate to what you can. You know what I mean? Like, if I don't have this huge truck to help you move.
Yeah, for sure.
But I have, like, my little Kovo, my Chevy Kovo out there to help you move. That's what I can, and that's what I want. So I'm going to do that. But, like, I mean, sometimes it just doesn't correlate as well. So it's like sometimes I'm not going to help you move at all, because it's like, I got things to do. You got things to do. But, yeah, family's hard, because it's like, you're born with them, and then there's this idea that you have to stick with them. But I'm not very much secure in that idea at all. I'm the quickest to be like, I don't care. It's not that I don't care, but I'm the quickest to be like distancing myself so quickly from, like, family, because it's just like, you guys nobody's put in effort, and effort's literally, it takes nothing to put in effort. Well, it takes a lot to put in effort, actually. That was definitely a contradiction. But it's a lot to put in effort, but it's not like it's It's not like it's that hard. I mean, this is effort. This is us coming,
Effort.
us showing up today. It's effort. Us having this conversation is effort. Behind the scenes, effort. Like, I mean, but it's not like, oh, I'm just so drained right now.
Definitely,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's definitely not like that.
So it's like, I feel like that's the same thing when it comes to like familial relationships. You can't, there's no like draining. Once it starts to become a draining situation, that's when I think you can be like, okay, I need to take a step back. But if it's not even a draining situation, you're not out here, you're just like being so like broken down by the person that you're helping out or the person that you were hanging out with or whatever, then it's just like, yeah.
Has anybody, family or friends, came to you and like talked to you as if you were the draining person?
I was actually gonna ask you that, but no. That's the thing. No one ever like. Maybe this is a bad thing, but no one ever like tells me, you know, if it's me. I usually just think it's them, because it's usually like a mutual. We're just not gonna talk or anything. So it's just like, they were this or they were that, and I'm like, I don't really want to deal with that in my life anyways. So I'm not gonna put in effort. But if they hit me up, I might consider going to lunch with them or something.
Right.
But no one's ever come to me and been like, you are such a drain on my system. Like, you can't, because I don't feel like I'm like that, period. Like, I don't feel like I'm a draining person, period. If anything, I put energy into people. Like, I'm the one who, like, elevates people.
Right.
Maybe that's big-headed of me to say, but that's just something I notice about myself. Like, I've never been that person to really drain. What about you? Has anybody ever came to you and been like, you're draining me?
Yeah, even worse, like abusing.
Yeah.
I've heard somebody use that word to me, saying that I was abusing, saying that I was like a cancer.
Wow.
Yeah. I've been hit with a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I've been hit with a lot of stuff where, coming from my side of it, I was like, well, did you just repress all these feelings and then just hit me with it at one time?
Yeah.
And then give me the worst name that you could possibly say? Just for me to be like, oh, I want to change. Like, I feel like people really just think that they had the juice with their words over me, but I just been there too long with it. Like, bro, I don't sing sad songs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Over something that I know I did not cause.
Yeah.
I didn't cause it. But you're going to come and say, you're a cancer to my basketball team, when they're all grown men.
Yeah.
Or you're going to come and say that I'm abusing you because your words don't have the effect on me that you wish they had, even though you raised me. You wish that they would just follow suit.
Right.
But I have a mind
of your own.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I've been through the experiences on my own. It's not like you came with me to these other states and these other cities and these other houses. You didn't come with me or make the call to see how I was doing in those situations. And if I was doing bad in those situations, you try to look at me like I was weak. So, of course, I'm not finna just heed your words like they're just perfect.
Yeah.
And when they see that I don't do that, they just use the biggest word to make me feel like if I can hit him with this, maybe he'll want to change.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. The manipulation that goes behind it.
Exactly. It just hit me with the you've been abusing me for the last like 5-10 years.
Yeah.
You know, just because
they turn themselves into the victim.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I've never been able to play the victim in any situation.
Oh, really?
Nah. Because where you gonna play the victim to? Like, say if I go to my friends and tell them what's happening in my family, and I'm telling them, yeah, it's messed up, but from the outside looking in, I mean, I'm your friend. Are you gonna just keep looking like a, BICTCH about the situation to me, or are we gonna go hoop? Are we gonna go enjoy the rest of the time that we have? Right. So I'll be in situations like that, or when I have to go compete. There's a lot weighing on my back, but am I gonna go in the game and start acting like I'm depressed and stuff and losing the game? Yeah. Nah. So definitely, there's just no time to sit and be the victim. If it was the cut and it was because of me, then it was the cut because of me. But I know over time it's gonna grow to where it's like, it really wasn't you. Yeah. I just really wasn't ready for your energy, or I just didn't get you at the moment. But when it all comes full circle, and I am at the steps, or I took the steps that my path deserves, and I got to my destiny, you're gonna be like, oh, so that's why he wasn't going for my pump fakes when I was trying to tell him to do this, or
Right.
when I try to take his time, this is why he did all this.
Yeah.
So I'm just waiting to reach that peak, like really.
Just to show him, just to let him know.
It's really not even just to let him know. It's just what I do is who I am. Like, it's nothing new.
Right.
So the frustration in me to them is just saying, bro, it's nothing new. It's not like I just left and came back like, I'm gonna be something that you never wanted to see. You know what I'm saying? Like, just wanted to be somebody horrible towards you. It's just like, nah, you can't hit me with the same conversation you tried to hit me with 10 years ago. It's 10 years later. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can't hit me with the same approach to discipline as 10 years ago. It's 10 years later.
Right.
What do you want me to do? If I come and give you something, it's going to look like I'm trying to attack you. That's what my nature sounds like most of the time, because I come direct and I come with a lot of facts. So it's like, you coming to attack me, how can you attack your family members? All types of stuff. I get attacked. It's like, take this and it's criticism.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It's criticism.
Right,
This is gonna make
it's
you
constructive.
exactly. This is gonna make you into what you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
So I take both, because I don't want to be the one 100% not listening to what's going on and just try to rebel the game when I know I could use a little bit of what they told me, mix it into my pot, and keep going.
Right.
So where we could
Make
both
you
be,
better.
we could both be like we grew from the situation. So even if it's a sad situation, I know I'm growing from it. It's just that the words that they try to put on me is just
unnecessary.
So unnecessary. Appreciate the word, my man. So unnecessary. So unnecessary.
I feel that. Yeah, I think being the victim is a really easy role to fall into. And so people get stuck in it. And they see that they get more sympathy when they're the victim or whatever. And so it's just like...
Especially if you look like the actual oppressor.
Yeah.
That goes all the way around. So I look like my dad.
Yeah.
For a long period of time,
right.
been the oppressor. So when you see the characteristics that look like that, not that, it's just that it
hits
powerful.
Too close to home.
It's too close. It's like, I've seen this before.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, your voice got up here? I remember who used to do that.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. But that's easy to fall into. So I think it's definitely it shows more character to fight being the victim and fight being stuck in the I'm alone or blah 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 or whatever, because I do find that sometimes my family has a tendency to easily be the victim when in situations that they have created for themselves, and it's just I don't really feel bad for you. It's just and then I look like the asshole because I don't feel bad because I'm not out there. I'm not going to help you because you put yourself in this situation. You definitely have every way to get out of that situation, but you didn't even have to be in that situation in the first place. And then whenever they come to me and I'm very cold and stoic about it, I will say that I have a tendency to be cold towards my family because I'm just y'all don't got it together. And it's not about having it together. It's about understanding the choices you make have consequences behind them, good or bad, whatever. But the choices you make have consequences behind them. And you can't come to me thinking that I'm going to feel bad because you made a obvious choice with obvious consequences behind them. Because why? You've made this choice before. This isn't the first time you're going through this. This is over and over and over because of the choices that you've made. And it's just I can't feign to care because it's just you've done this. I'm younger than you and I am able to already see the trajectory that you're headed in. You know what I mean? So it's if I can see that, I'm not sitting out here, I don't have all this life experience. I'm not this worldly experienced person. I haven't been all over the place, but it's just about watching your actions and watching your environment and the environment that you've created. And I see how you've gotten there, how you've done that. And I can see there's so many different there's infinite possibilities of the way your life could go, but I definitely could see, you know, how you could get out of that. And it's like, if I give the advice of how you can get out of that, it's like, yeah, I could do that, I could try to do that, and then they do the same exact thing that they want to do, and it's just like, I'm not gonna waste my breath no more. I'm not about to sit here and, you know, babysit you and try to tell you how you should be living your life, because that's my opinion. And if you want to go out there and live your life the way you do that, cool. But if you're draining on me because you come to me every single time after the fact, after you made these decisions, talking about oh, can you help me out? I'm not going to be there. Like, it's just like, I can't, because if I'm always there, then you're not able to be there for me when it comes down to it. You know what I mean? It's just like, I'll take care of myself. I'll do this for myself. You go ahead and handle that and see who's there for you or whatever. But I'm going to make sure I take care of myself in the end of this, because caring for other people, being there for other people whenever they are down, and then not having that reciprocated was something that was so common in my life that I was just like, okay, I definitely can understand now how to make sure I'm good, and then I'll, you know, see what's going on with other people. And that's like, especially when it comes to my family. But
that's 100. That's definitely 100. I see your perspective on that.
Yeah, no, it's hard to be the person that, it's not even that I have it together, but it's like hard to be the person that has some slight stability, and then whenever you try to take a piece of that stability and like share it with somebody, and then they crumble it up, it's just like, okay, well, I don't even have it together that much.
Right.
And I gave you a little bit of what I got, you know.
What's crumbling it up, though?
Crumbling it up is like, you take the advice, or you take the money, or you take the time that I put into being around you or giving to you, and you go and do the same thing again. Or you take the money that I've given you for gas, and you go buy something that's completely unrelated, and it's not going into your gas tank, and you're not going to work. So it's not like you're going to pay me back. And it's not really that I'm worried about you paying me back. I'm not like, oh, I need that $10 back. But it's just like, okay, you didn't do what you said you were going to do. And that's one of the biggest things with me. It's like, when somebody comes to you as like somebody not even in need, but just a person, and they say that they want this, or they're going to do this or whatever, and there is just no action behind what they say, that's the worst thing you can do, because I'm just like, that's the biggest lie you could give. Give me hope of like you being a changed person or being a better person. That's the worst thing you can do, because I will definitely put my all into helping you become that better person. But once I see that you're no longer, like, you're not trying to be that person, you just know the right things to say to get me to help you, I'm not going to try to help you anymore. At all, ever. That's a really quick way to get me to cut you. Really.
What's up?
But do you feel like when it comes to family, it's hard to have that conversation of, this is what you're doing to me? Or do you feel like it's hard for them to have that conversation with you?
No, not at all.
No?
Nah, my family's all, they don't bite their tongue at all.
Oh, really?
From the youngest one, 14.
Really?
She's been telling me how it's going since she was like 7.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? The youngest one. So imagine the oldest one.
Yeah.
They're just super bold people when it comes to the name. You know what I'm saying? Boye, One Way.
Yeah.
Chris.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They're just super confident just because maybe they're trying to mold the perfect person in their minds.
Yeah.
I think they see a lot of talent, a lot of opportunity.
Right.
That person might act like they're taking it for granted because it's not moving at the speed or anything that they would see.
Yeah.
They want that talent to be.
Yeah.
I feel like that's where it's really in my spot.
So you think it's like more of them trying to make you into the person that they want, instead of them just trying to help you be the person that you want to be?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's 100% like that. Just because they feel like if they offered the time and help, or just one word of advice, or just open the door, they feel like they should have like the full run on that. You know what I'm saying? The full run on that. Like, I opened the door, so it's like the outcome that I want is the one that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
I completely feel that.
And that's just, I'm not going for that.
Yeah. I think my family is like on the different end of that. It's not that they hold their tongue, it's that they have a tendency to be like passive aggressive about it. And it's not like they hit it head on all the time. But I will say that my mom is kind of the difference in it. Like, she has a tendency to be very like straightforward and very like to the point about being completely honest about something that's bothering her or a situation that's bothering her. But I don't think that's a common factor in my family. We all have a tendency to be like, oh, well, I don't know. I don't know if it's me. I don't know if I'm passive aggressive. I think I saw that in my family, and I take it, and I saw that how my mom is and how direct she is and how like passive aggressive my family can be. And I think I'm more of a person who's like, I'm gonna deal with this situation for myself and how I feel, and I'll navigate that, and then I'll come to you with it. Like, so it's not like in the heat of the moment I'm being, well, blah 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 blah.
It's the best way to do it. Go ahead and
have it. I'm gonna go ahead and internalize it for a second. See all aspects of what I can possibly, like, how I feel about the situation, how I want to, what the outcome I would like it to be, formulate that into like a concise idea, and then come to you with my problems and what I want and what would be better. But I think my other side of my family kind of does that, but more of passive aggressively. They're like, well, we'll all have like, this dinner or something, and for somebody's like whatever, and then there'll be like something said as a joke, and like, oh, well, you love to just leave your shoes on the ground, blah blah blah. And it's just like, oh, ha 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 ha. And then as like it keeps happening, and then like there's these little jabs, verbally about, you being you not doing anything for yourself, or you not helping out, or you doing this, or blah blah blah. And it's all because they had a problem with you leaving your shoes on the ground in front of the door, and when you could have just been like, pick your shoes up. You know what I mean? I feel like certain parts of my family can do that. On my mom's side, certain parts of my family can do that, but most of them are just like very like very touch and go with the subject. That I'm definitely more of the person who's like, I'll deal with it when I'm ready to deal with it. Because if I go straight on, I don't know if this is because I would say it's because I'm a Scorpio, but Scorpio tendencies are that I become very like verbally aggressive, and I hit below the belt because I want to hurt you. Like, that's what I want. If I'm hurting, I want to hurt you, and I have been able to understand that about myself. So when I clam up and I get quiet, it's because I am helping everybody in this situation. Because if I say what I want to say, we're not going to have a relationship after it. You're not going to want to be anything close to me after it. So I definitely am like,
I'm definitely like that, but it came to the point where I turned like 20, and I was already living by myself, and I was already taking care of myself, to the point where it's like, yeah, I know that if I get into the mix and hit the same way you hit, it's going to be taken a lot further, and we won't have a relationship after.
Right.
But what am I to go on the rest of my life as a hermit, you know what I'm saying, just not letting anything go? We have a caller.
We have a caller. Yeah. Hello?
We got our first caller.
Good morning. Yes, you are. Are you close? Yeah, you're on the mic. Check 2 1 2.
I was listening to your show, and I wanted to make a comment from a parent's perspective, because I've had to do some soul searching and think of why I communicate. I have adult children,
right?
But they're still adults, but they're still my children, and I think sometimes parents don't do a very good job of walking through the stages of life with their children who are no longer kids. But it's not always that easy for parents for that to catch up, the reality to catch up in a parent's mind, because you still see this as your your baby, your son or your daughter. You try to guide them. So I think when I was listening to you all talk about kind of being super direct and, you know, I don't want to be the bottom line for everything that's going on, I think parents are guilty of that often, and I think I've been. But I think that the only way for us to heal is to have those hard conversations. And I've had to deal with two really hard conversations this weekend from both of my adult men, my sons. So, meaning, and I'm going to get off your line to your conversation.
No, this
but
is
what
amazing.
I mean by that is that I respect, as long as you speak to me with respect, I do respect my children causing me to see myself through their eyes, because I think that we can do damage to them when we're trying to help them, but it has a reverse effect if it's not communicated properly. So just from a parent's perspective, I just wanted to kind of give my little 2 cents.
Thank you so much for your 2 cents. It was more than 2 cents. It's $1 million.
Definitely priceless.
You are most welcome, and I love your show. I'm a fan of you guys.
Thank you. You're going to make me cry on screen.
I'm going to hang up so I can listen.
Okay.
I'm telling all of my friends to tune in and listen to your show. So.
There we go. Speak
Thank
up.
Thank you so much. You have an amazing and blessed day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye. Oh, that's awesome. we should start putting the number out so people can call in and do that more often.
Definitely. That just gave me a heartwarming moment.
Yeah, like for real. That's wow. That was amazing. I'm shook. But yeah, I think that's really, really big of a parent to be able to step back and be like, this is where I'm faulted at, and this is where I can do better. And this is what I can, you know, improve, especially when it comes to your kids, because I think it's easy for parents to be like, well, I'm the end-all, be-all.
I'm like,
exactly.
Or even if I am wrong, what else do you have? And that's the biggest thing with mine. I can't even stunt like it's like, I know that maybe, you know, you might think I'm perfect, but who else is there?
Right.
And it's like a cocky attitude about that, which is 100% true. Who else is there? Nobody's there, but like, now there is.
Yeah.
So it's different. You know what I'm saying? Now there is, so it's different.
I completely feel that. I think that, I don't know, it's hard to have that conversation with your parent, because then it's like, if your parent isn't open-minded like that, you just seem disrespectful, ungrateful.
Always disrespectful, always ungrateful.
Exactly, the most like, just like, oh, you just aren't, you know, you aren't thankful for all the things, all the sacrifices that I've made for you. It's always come down to the sacrifices of doing this and doing that.
All the times you try to big that up,
oh my gosh,
like it was never heard.
Yes, you know like I don't appreciate the things that you've done for me. Like but because things aren't going the way you wanted to go. Now it's like, oh, well, you're not appreciating it. All of a sudden, I'm not appreciating it.
Definitely.
It's just like. But we will continue this conversation about family, cutting them off, keeping them in your life, whatever, whenever we come back from break.
Wrong camera.
Wow.
Oh, shit.
Why am I drunk?
Oh, my God. I can't.
Oh, it's...
Deaf on the beat. Deaf on the beat. Deaf on the beat. Deaf on the beat.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's the realest shit I ever wrote. The trillest shit I ever spoke. Self-made legend, but it's not about the money. No, these rhymes is all I got, they tryna take it from me. They tryna bury me alive and make you mine the mummy. So last night I died, and a star was born. I'm feeling torn between good and evil. Strip clubs and cathedrals are all the same. We go and give higher praise to hide the pain. Ashamed to say I played the game. They warned me not to play, because the price you pay is not worth it. It's better said than lived. In reality, this music's all I got to give. In reality, my heart is where Allah exists. But in reality, I let the Lord take my gift. Now I'm a vessel. Haven't talked to the devil like, can you make me the greatest? She told me that I'm her favorite, I'm born to make it. Sign your name on these papers, and why does that make you famous? Should I sell my soul to Satan? Man, I vow to be the greatest. I vow to be the greatest, yeah. I vow to be the greatest, yeah. I vow to be the greatest, man, I vow to be the greatest, yeah. I vow to be the greatest, yeah. I vow to be the greatest, man, I vow to be the greatest, yeah. I vow to be the greatest, yeah. I vow to be the greatest, man, I vow to be the greatest, yeah. I vow to be the greatest, yeah. Did what we did, no time for looking back. It's time to get on track and run until we fade to black. They tryna blitz, but I never get sacked. My soul under attack, I'm caught up in my passion. Flashing lights, cameras, and action. I'm clashing with titans and dark assassins. I'm laughing, cause really I can't be touched. Pressure's never too much, you make me wanna give up, please. Lord forgive me, Father please forgive me. I know that you love your summer, man, Lucy, she's just so tempting. You sent me on a mission, the freedom mindset of the gifted. But was this all a part of your plan? Tell me now before I go down this road. The least to sell on our shows and fucking hoes bad like Marilyn Monroe. I guess we may never know. For now I'm one with the ghosts. Pray I make it down this road that I chose. Why? Because I vowed to be the greatest, yeah. I vowed to be the greatest, yeah. I vowed to be the greatest, man, I vowed to be the greatest, yeah. I vowed to be the greatest, yeah. I vowed to be the greatest, man, I vowed to be the greatest, yeah. I vowed to be the greatest, yeah. I vowed to be the greatest, man, I vowed to be the greatest, yeah. I vowed to be the greatest, yeah.
Deaf on the beat. Deaf on the beat. Deaf on the beat.
One day, your choice will come. Between the hoopties and the Rolls Royce, between the Bears and the friends.
Nubia.
special. Sit back and listen. This song is special to me. Yeah. This one's for you. You gave me a reason to chomp. You are the reason I stand strong. Whenever I fall, you been the one I can land on. But ever since fall, I love's been shot like a sandstorm. I know I was wrong, but you kept singing the same song about what we can't afford. I ignore what they hate me for. I fell asleep on the shore where I can't escape the poor. Lifestyle where I hated more. I know I might fail, but mama, I'm not afraid of loss. So if it's a price to pay, it's time that I pay the cost. Like these are my faded thoughts. I love you like the soulmate of my sacred heart. One love. Through the sun and rain, the joy and pain, family matters in the world never change. I love you, mama, I do. I love you, mama, I do. Through the sun and rain, the joy and pain, family matters in the world never change. I started off with just the ice in my veins, now I got ice in my chain. Family matters in the world never change. It don't matter how the wind blow, you stay down like 10 toes. You taught me family matters like Jaleel White and Winslow. So even though my wind's low, I'm still a champ to you. The struggle is a journey that a hero must pursue. To activate his dreams and plans to make cream. Show the world one life, one love, and one team. For the girls from the 414 to race sin, you don't gotta be bees and hoes and be seen. You don't gotta be down the fuck at 16 or a queen. It's a girl who fought no God's lead. Straight up. Through the sun and rain, the joy and pain, family matters in the world never change. I love you, mama, I do. I love you, mama, I do. Through the sun and rain, the joy and pain, family matters in that world never change. I started off with just the ice in my veins, now I got ice in my chain. Family matters in that world never change. I said, family matters. I pick apart the broken pieces in the words you're speaking. Recognize the vibe I'm feeding in these written thesis. Yeah, you know the white man will keep the vulture eating, but you know that Leo season keep the culture breathing. So it don't matter how many of y'all think I'm the greatest of my generation, I'm still a neighborhood favorite. The whole hood waving cause they understood haters when he had the all even with the sides tapered. Now my eyes slow, Asian basketball deflated, still dream chasing, face it. It's time to say goodbye, SoundCloud, Spotify's waiting through the sun and rain, the joy and pain, family matters in that world never change. I love you, mama. I miss you, baby. I love you, mama. Where I do.
Yeah, judgment could have come. The one of them take out culture for granted slavery, murder, red rum, yeah, murder the people them for no reason.
Screaming part of my manners, but bitch I can't stop until I have raised up the standards. I'm overly focused, now my business gets handled. I gave you my heart and y'all just gon' take it for granted. They gon' make me start ranting, wait, they piss on my grave. They sleep on my music and then go listen to Panda. These niggas be claiming trip, I be faking and setting. They jamming that Lil Uzi, the rage of Atlanta. I'm just speaking on vultures who hold my culture for ransom. Yep, I hop on the beat and they get to throwing attention. They let that bullshit divide us and spread like a cancer. I'm building my army and we are coming for answers. Singing part of my madness, wait, death to your stereo. I'm killing they stereotype. I know some niggas that will bury your type. Armageddon, speak of the trap, but don't be living that life. I got some niggas that will bury your type with their arm and hammer. Keep it trill, never scared of a fight. I come through like a thief in the night. On my country grandma, piss on my grave, throw shade on my light. Can't hold me down, bitch, I'm down with the flight. And it's Armageddon, the armor, the Armageddon, the armor. I'm talking Armageddon, the armor, the Armageddon, the armor. Oh yes, it's Armageddon, the armor, the Armageddon, the armor. I'm talking Armageddon, the armor, the honor. Your mama, yeah, I'm tryna go lobby to lobby with some model chick. chicks, body to body, they like I flow godly, so godly. I feel like Ali Muhammad. I'm the greatest, now they all come surround me. They used to play me on the far side, passing right by me. I see I'm out and I climb it. Global warming, they climb it. I'm in control like a pilot. I'm taking off like a rocket. It's ironic, look, took some time to find it, but now I move like Sonic. Outer space, I need a comet to book. I got some niggas that will bury your type. Armageddon, speak of the trap, but don't be living that life. I know some niggas that will bury your type with that armor hammer. Keep it trill, never scared of a fight. I come through like a thief in the night. On my country grammar, piss on my grave, throw shade on my light. Can't hold me down, bitch, I'm down with the flight. Alright, here we go. They can't kill my pain, so I drown in my sorrows. Goddamn, it's a shame. I can't kill my problems. I might go insane. I might not see tomorrow. They throw dirt on my name. I keep spitting fire. The armor, the armor, the armor. I'm talking Armageddon. The armor, the armor, the armor. Oh yes, it's Armageddon. The armor, the armor, the armor, the Armageddon. The armor, the honor, the
Gun the ready fire, man, for that, yeah, me tell them, I'ma get them, make them red.
It's so elusive.
Hey, hey, hey. And this goes out to all my LA sunshines, my LA girls. Yeah, this goes out to all my LA sunshines, my LA girls. Hey, hey, hey. I'm not trying to first base with your girl, I'm trying to own it. Not just in it for the moment. Can I hit it in the morning? Are you in first place? Tell me, baby, does he really notice? Are you loving in the motion? Ever showed your knees approaching? And I know you like to go to after parties in Vegas. Take a trip to Jamaica or pull up and go see the Lakers. And you are my LA sunshine, but we met in Decatur when you said you were cuffed up until your ex caught the vapors. Now you get lit at night. Lit at night. I got you at the crib right now. I'm really hoping that you spend the night. Spend the night. I'm not the only one to hit it, just the only one to hit it right. Hit it right. So when they ask you what you doing, girl, just tell them that you're living life. Living life. As long as it's lit at night. Lit at night. As long as it gets lit. Hey, lit, 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 lit. Girl, I swear you got me lit, lit, so lit, lit, lit. Them other girls can't get me lit like this. Can't fight this enlightenment. I like this excitement. I'm righteous, I'm man. I skywalk, float by them. See, I the king, I lead them, cause I'm so wise, man. I told them this lit your season, I'm gon' shine, man. Now I'm in LA with juice and lemon shine. Now you get lit at night, lit at night. I got you at the crib right now. I'm really hoping that you spend the night. Spend the night. I'm not the only one to hit it, just the only one to hit it right. Hit it right, oh. So when they ask you what you doing, girl, just tell them that you're living life. Living life. As long as it's lit at night. Lit at night. Now you stay lit, 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 lit. Party never over.
Lately I stopped drinking, but I'm never sober. Love the way you hip shake. Wonder what you doing later. Come and roll with a player. You can count this paper. Blue hunters to the new hunters, and it match my new Porsche. Holding on to the wheel, baby, and I know you feel this torque. Nah, I done got you to my room, baby. Please take off your shoes. And you know I roll this weed up just tonight. There ain't no rules. Now you get lit at night, lit at night. I got you at the crib right now. I'm really hoping that you spend the night, spend the night. I'm not the only one to hit it, just the only one to hit it right, hit it right. So when they ask you what you doing, girl, just tell them that you're living life, living life. As long as it's lit at night, lit at night.
It's so elusive.
Are we back? Are we back? Or are we back? Are we back? Are we back? Are we back? We're back.
We're back.
Hello. Welcome back to Speak Up.
What's good, y'all?
On HighVibe. We got a special little guest here with us.
Hi guys, how you doing?
Who are you?
My name is Haley Dyer.
What's up? What's up? What's up? She's here to help us with this conversation.
I'm joining.
All right. Well, we're talking about cutting off family relationships, whatever. Have you had to ever do that?
As far as family goes, I've been very blessed to have a very supportive family. So no, I haven't really had to cut off family. But I had an interesting situation where some stuff actually did happen in my family, and we ended up losing that person. They ended up passing.
Oh, wow.
So that was a hard thing to kind of navigate, knowing how to deal with, the death of a family member, but also deal with a messy situation. So I feel like that was kind of extremely hard to navigate, because if, even if they didn't pass, I feel like they would have got cut off anyway. So that's just an interesting perspective to know, like, okay, if you do cut off a family member, like, is it cut off to the end? Like, they die, like, what happens? You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you navigate that?
Yeah,
you know?
I don't know. I feel like I'm so cold.
So you're just, like, done, like, if I don't mess with you, I don't mess with you.
It'd
like,
be done. It'd be like, if I say I'm done,
it's over.
When I'm done, I'm done. Like,
it's
I
so
can't.
interesting. I'm just such a... I'm the opposite of that.
Yeah.
So if I say I'm done, like, there's still a part of me that cares about
There's still hope.
people. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. I've been in the situation enough to be able to, like, know myself that I can sit there and, like, pretend like you don't exist. Like, I'm good at that.
Right.
I've gotten really good at that.
Do you think that's healthy, though?
No, not at all. I'm not saying in any way, shape, or form this is something that you should be doing. But I'm saying, like, I know myself, and if the person that I cut off passed away, it'd kind of be like, okay. Well, they passed away. They never existed. After the fact of me being done and I cut them and they're not non-existent within my life, and now they're just non-existent within this, material life. Okay.
It doesn't affect it.
No.
Wow. What about you? What do you think?
I'm in the middle.
Yeah.
I'm in the middle. I know it's fishy in the middle.
Maybe we should switch sheets.
We should switch sheets.
The middle.
Yeah, no, but like, it's just like my dad. I'll just go straight in on him. Like with him, we cut him off, right? Mm-hmm. But if I was face to face with my dad, it would be the biggest hope, like for shit to get mended off top, off top. Just because time, I think, giving it the time, I think it's easy to say that in the heat of the moment. Like, if they're dead, they're dead.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Give that shit 10 years, bro. And you'll be like, bro, if I see that face, bro, it's a big ass hug. First, we ain't even gonna talk. It's a big ass hug. Then it's like,
okay, now
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It would at least be that, like, dying, death, that's deep. Like, if it was family,
you never see this person again. Like, you never get this chance.
It just goes to the memories attached to that person. Like, that dude taught me how to shoot.
Yeah.
That dude taught me what to look at, what not to look at.
Yeah.
He taught me how to eat.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he taught me how to really be everything, So, 10 years, you don't see that face in real, like, reality. You're gonna, it's just gonna all come back to you. It's gonna all come back to you. In my heart. Maybe you don't have a heart no more. I'm not trying to say, but I'm in the middle though.
Kim gone.
I be in the middle though, because on the other side.
Yeah. Talking about I don't have a heart and then go say something on the other side.
But on the other hand.
You know what I'm saying? I'm so right there with you. You know what I'm saying? I'm so right there with you. Just with people that I've had less dope experiences with.
Yeah. Less dope experiences.
Just so, I mean, and they're still in the family.
Yeah.
I don't want to say the name because it'd be like, gosh, bro. How could it be that person?
Yeah.
How could it be that person? But that person knows who she is.
Yeah.
And, like, it's not cut off, but it's like, it's a good distance.
It's pointless at this point. Yeah.
It's good distance.
Right.
Until you fix the words that you know what I'm saying, bracket me in.
Yeah.
I'm not abusive.
Yeah. I completely feel that.
I'm just not. So, you know what I'm saying, until you fix those words, you can say, you probably my trouble child, you know what I'm saying? You give me the biggest headache, but I'm the only dude.
I'm the only girl.
I'm the only girl as well.
Yeah, I'm the youngest, and I am the only girl, and I think that...
So how would you know how to navigate me as well as you do the other two?
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
So
that's an interesting perspective.
Yeah.
That's
crazy. Yeah. Okay, so you were talking, that was actually a really good question whenever we went on break, is how you react to your family. Is that, like, does that deter you or make you optimistic of having kids, and doing better, or what would you do with them?
From the perspective of your family.
Yeah, like with dealing with your family and all the stuff that
does
you've had to do.
Does that make me want a family more or
yeah,
less?
Yeah.
Okay. I say more. And I say more because, one, I grew up in or at least my parents are separated. But on my dad's side, it was always a big household.
Okay.
So that's just an environment that I love, and so I want the same. Like, I want a big family, and that's just kind of just naturally because that's how I grew up. But then on the other side of things, I see where my parents... I see the good that my parents did in me, but I also see, like, where my parents could...
Right.
And it's hard to say as a child because I don't know what it's like to be a parent.
Right.
I don't know what they're looking out for specifically, but I know that there's certain things that could be done for a parent-child relationship as like people rather than just a parent and a child, which I think a lot of people, parents and all family members, take that away. Like I see people all the time. This is actually a good thing, but I see a good thing to talk about. But I see people all the time talk about like stuff that's happened in their family, and they're just like, yeah, but this is my blood, and I'm just always like, well, yeah, it's your blood, but it's not always thicker than water.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
like,
my biggest thing. That's like the reason why I'm so okay with like cutting off family, because it's like you.
But you're good at cutting people off. Period.
Yeah,
like, you're good at cutting. I'm not. Like I don't even like friends. I had a friend for 13 years, and the last like 5 or 6 years of our relationship was like I shouldn't have been. It's such a good friend to that person, like a good, great friend. But even to this day, like I had to cut her off for about a year, didn't talk to her. Like I had to be blunt, and like that hurt me because I'm not that type of person, but I did it. And then now it's like I saw her the other day, and I was just like, hey, like, how are you? Like I had to talk to her, but it took a lot of me to not say like, oh, how are you? Like I really
give her
that
love.
Like, but I couldn't. And so that's like hard for me, but you're naturally more of a one and done. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like a giving, chancy kind of person, so it's like different, just harder to navigate. But yeah, blood is not thicker than water. So I see if you take yourself out of, you know, being a family with people, I feel like it's a lot easier to navigate things as a parent. I'd like to think. I don't know. I feel like it would make me more optimistic to have a family, because I feel like I know how to do that.
Right, you want to put all that you have into them to show them that this is what a family can be.
Yeah, and this is what you can be as a person, not as my daughter or as my son. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, yeah, you raise your kids,
but there comes
a point that your kid has to be a person.
Yeah.
And they have to think for themselves, and they have to maneuver for themselves.
Because when they go out into this world, they're not anybody's child.
And that's what I'm saying, is you can't say, do this and do that at, you know, I'm 21 now, and there's still things that I'm doing, and I'm like, well, I need to learn how to do this on my own. Yeah. And, you know, I'm glad I have parents who care so much, but it's at the same time, it's like,
I need to care enough for myself to do this for myself.
Yeah, and that's what I want to, that's the main thing that I want to give to my kids, is like a strong sense of independence. Like, I really want them to fall
And I think
early.
that's one thing about you that I definitely noticed, that you have a strong sense of independence.
But that's from the outside looking in. I mean, I see it and I'm like, I want to be doing all this by myself. Like, I want to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Like looking at yourself and your situation. But I'm saying, like, you really do. You give off this like huge, like, I got this for myself. Yeah. And I think you'll be able to translate that well to your kids.
My kids.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah. What about y'all? Family? No?
I'm definitely optimistic about the family, but more so setting up the right community and environment that leads to that, because it was all, you know, smiles and giggles and everything when those two things were compatible.
Good.
When it was uncles and aunties and family friends and all different cultures mixing, like an actual community that allowed kids to just
be a kid,
crazy. You know what I'm saying? Just be wild kids.
Right.
And learn so much from just dope adults. So I'm trying to set up like what we have going here, a high vibe of dope adults. It's kind of difficult because like the more that you try to stand on your own too, the less community it kind of be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's hard. That's
the less community that you can make it, but like it has to be figured out.
Yeah,
and
no,
that's
definitely.
Like the system I'm trying to like really create. So then when I do have the kids, they're just like into something, and they're in the community. Because I went to this place like called the Clubhouse when I was like a kid. That was my daycare. It was called the Clubhouse.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
You spoke about it before.
I have?
Yeah.
That's the dopest place any kid could go.
Was it spoke about it before?
He did.
Oh, okay.
That's the dopest place any kid could go.
Yeah.
Because every day they would have an activity. One, it was over 300 kids there.
Oh, wow.
Over 300. This is like a massive spot, and you're not segregated. Like, that's a group and this is a group. Like, you're in, you know what I'm saying? If you're 5, you're playing with 10s. If you're 6, you're playing with 10s. If you're 7, you're playing with anybody ages. So, and then they had vans on vans. And they would just scoop you, or you would get in the van and you would go to Skateland all together. you would go learn how to swim. You weren't gonna be there and not learn how to swim.
Mm-hmm.
You were gonna just learn how to interact over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And they'll even take you to the candy shop.
Yeah.
And give you the money that your parents gave, but like it'll come from them. And so you just be so much more happy. You're like, where does this money come from? And then you just go in there and you just buy your stuff and you leave. But just having that ultimate vibration 5 days out of the week, and in 2 days you get to go with your family, and they got a barbecue going somewhere down way over by the beach.
Yeah.
You know,
that's
just setting that up.
That's awesome, dude. That's something that's necessary for like all communities.
And I feel like that's like, it's so environmental.
So you think that that's something that you're excited from that because that's what you grew up in?
Yeah, definitely. Like I learned how to do so many things because of that environment.
You put your kids in that, or you would try to do that for your kids?
I would try to create that for my kids. Like put them in an environment that has all those things that allows them to have a sense of community, but independence foremost. So I'm trying to find like a woman that has that independent drive in her, because I have it on another level. So she won't be lonely while I'm out here trying to make that community happen. Because it sounds sweet, like, oh, we're going to have a family and community and shit, but like, if I'm not the GOAT, it's not going to happen that way. And that's how things fade. Like, they just fade. So I had that type of experience for like first 8 years of my life when the environment changed, because somebody wasn't, you know what I'm saying, staying up to the status quo that they had set. It started to fade.
I feel that. For me, for the longest time, I was, because of course I was a kid myself, but I had a very like, I guess I would say like kind of mature and very cold look towards kids. I didn't want them for the longest time. I think I was like 16. No, I think I was 18 when I finally decided that I would like to have kids and to have a family. But that's after I had to go through like a lot of like soul searching and wondering why I hated kids so much. But it was mostly because like I didn't want to inflict any of the hurt that I have gone through or anything onto them, and I wouldn't want to bring them into a world where I didn't have things set up for them to be the most comfortable and the happiest and like have the most caring kind of situation set up for them. Like I don't want to have to deal with, you know, just like them not being able to be the best that they can be because I'm not there for them. I think I can make them the best that they can be.
I feel like just you alone.
Right.
I said community, but now when you just said, I was like, but low key,
it's
all they really need is
you. If you're not
like,
there.
All my idols, they're people, you know what I'm saying, they didn't have all those things. Take Allen Iverson.
Right.
Take LeBron James. Where's his dad?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I never even seen his dad.
Right.
But his mom was there, and he became the best version of himself. She would not let that go. Kevin Durant, you know what I'm saying? So many people, it's just whatever they had, but they had it. Like, their mom was there.
Yeah, and that's what I think. I think I can be that for my kids. Regardless of what they want to do, I would support them. Well, I mean, it depends, like... I don't want them to become serial killers or anything like that. But it's like, as long as they're not hurting anyone around them or themselves, like, if that's what you want to do, let me be there for you 150 billion%. But if I can't, you know, if I have to be at work all the time or something or whatever, I need to be able to, like, assess how I can get my kid to and from wherever they're trying to do or be, or have them, like, the best dance outfits that they can have or whatever. Because if I can't do that for them, then I don't feel like I would be, like, a parent. Like, I just don't feel like I would be...
Or you might just be waking up and working for a different reason.
I feel like I'm going to work for something that is not even worth... Because once my kids come into my life, I feel like that's where everything goes. Like, every part of me goes into my kids. And I don't mean, like, living through them vicariously or anything like that. I just mean going in and making sure that they don't they don't look back and like, dang, I wasn't able to do that because, you know, my mom wasn't there or my mom didn't do that, whatever. But I also want them to have their father in their life, definitely, because, like, even if, God forbid it, if I don't stay with their father, I want their father to be in their life, because it's just like, if you don't have both of your parents, you don't get both perspectives of like two different perspectives of life and how two different ways can create you to be the best person that you can
And
be.
men and women just think differently.
Exactly.
So to be able to have
Differently.
Yeah, I mean they
I had to
definitely
ad-lib
do.
because it's just
I mean
so
it's very important. Like me, I've gotten like different things from my mom than I've gotten from my dad. They're
Exactly.
completely different life lessons.
Exactly.
But, yeah, so I mean not only that, but they also think differently, so you get
Right.
a lot more.
So for the longest time, I was just like, I just don't want to mess up a kid. Like, I really don't want to mess my kid up to bring them into this world that.
Yeah, but you got to think about it too. It's not just like messing them up, or like you're saying, like you said you don't want them to think like, oh, I didn't have this because my mom did that. But you also have to think about it though. If you teach your kid, like if your kid is like, they're watching you. Kids watch everything that you do. So if your kid is watching you, they're paying attention to what you're doing. So like I have a friend, I don't know how to explain this right, but I have a friend whose mom is self-employed. Mm-hmm. And she might have missed out on a few Christmases because her mom was, grinding to make a living
the
off
self-employment.
Of what I'm saying? So it's a lot different. She's not working, but she said once she started, she was never going to go back and work a job again.
Yeah.
And so they miss out on a few Christmases, but they know my mom is doing this, and now I can do this. Now she my friend literally makes money
doing her own thing.
Literally doing. Like she's so crazy, she can just make money one day, like doing nothing, like just selling whatever she wants to sell, or like coming up with these crazy ideas just because she saw her mom do it. Right. So I mean that taught her something, like even though it was like she missed out on these things, but those things didn't really
no I'm not talking about like things like materialistic things. I know. I'm talking about like opportunities that I could give them when I'm not there. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like if I'm not there, I can't give them those opportunities or allow them to.
But if you're transparent enough with them and show them, and they can learn through the things that they might be missing out on because you show them that. Does that make sense?
No, that makes complete sense. That's why, at 18 I was like, I need to understand that I can work towards having kids. Like I'm 20 now, so it's like I can have kids and I can be there for them in the best way possible. Like I want a whole family. Like I want kids, and I want to be able to like put all of me into them, not raise little me's, but raise little like human beings, and to be the best human beings out here and show this world that this isn't, you don't have to be just like everybody else. You don't have to be, so easily influenced by everything. Be your own person at the end of it. Right. So I want kids now. I want like 4 of them, but before I did not want one.
So you feel like you made the decision to want kids based on like what you learned about yourself?
Yes, definitely. And this is just like, this is gonna sound big-headed again, but because I like see really good qualities in me that I would want to pass on, I'm like, of course I want kids. Of course I want kids. I want them to be able to like be so
little
kind.
Kim is running around.
Right? Just like be a little kind, loving, but understand how to cut off people. I think that's something that I want to pass on, and then have them pass on, and then pass on, and have a legacy. I want a legacy.
It just warmed my heart.
I'm dead. Yeah, but yeah, and I just, I want my kids to be able to like come to me about whatever and feel like they have a confidant, not just their parent, but a confidant. So it's like if they tell me something, know that I won't go back and tell their dad or something. Like whenever you tell me something, you say I don't want daddy to know.
Oh, you gonna hold that one up?
I'm gonna hold that one up.
Okay.
I'm gonna hold that one up, but I'm gonna be like that. But
with
then,
everything?
It depends. If it's like,
I don't know. That's a tough one.
That's a tough one because not with everything.
I feel like I don't
not
know.
with everything, but if it's just like small thing, or there's a guy at school that I like.
Yeah, don't tell dad.
I'm okay, I'm not gonna tell your father what. I don't need to. But if it's like, I want to go out on a date with him, it's like, okay, daddy and I need to have a conversation about that because we need to meet him and we need to see what he's about or whatever. And it depends on like what age this is happening at as well.
That's interesting.
But yeah, and even if it like, again, God forbid that her father and I are not together, it would still come down to we would have that conversation anyways. Like it would be,
okay.
Yeah, it would be, okay, well she wants to go out with this boy, but we need to meet him first, blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
And even, like, if we're not together, I want it to be on good terms, and I want like I want him to be in their life.
I mean, but are you gonna resent it if he's not?
I'm not gonna be like, oh, I'm not a good mother because their father isn't in their life. I would be like, it would really break my heart because like, you know, not having your father in your life is like, it's rough, you know, and it's not just on me, just for them, because they're only getting kind of one aspect of a parent when they could have two. But he is deciding, like, if it's different type of situations where like he's gone and done whatever, or he got in trouble to do whatever, blah blah blah, but if he put himself in a situation where he was not able to come, like he went to jail, or he just makes this decision not to be in his kid's life, like I would definitely like feel some type of, I would have to go through like some counseling or something, because yeah, that would affect me so bad, because of the way I know it's going to affect my kids in the end of it, of them not having their father. Because it's just like, it's a lot.
Yeah, but if you give it that much power, then it holds that much power.
But
I mean, I feel like
I wouldn't give it to them. I wouldn't show them, but I know it would affect me.
I'm thinking about it through like I don't know. Yeah, but I mean, that's why I say like, if you keep transparency with them and like they learn through your struggles and everything, and like also if he's not gonna be like, you can't make anybody do
that's
anything,
the biggest
you know?
thing, like I can't make him be a father.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, look at like, I have so many friends who don't have fathers, and, like, I mean, I know that there's pain and that, you know, but also there's other situations too, but I know that there's pain, but at the end of the day, like, they're here and they learn from it, which is all you can do.
Yeah, of course. I'm not going to be like, I wouldn't try to make it a situation where they felt the missing person.
I see.
You know what I mean? I would try to make up for that. I think I would like break myself to try to be both for them, so that they didn't have to feel like, oh well, you know, because I didn't have a dad, I wasn't able to like learn how to be this or be that, or I wanted to be like, my mom went ham for me, and she was the person that taught me how to be the person that I am.
Yeah,
so.
I see that. Do y'all feel like the first person you cut off, was it family or a friend first? Like, if it was family or friends first?
I moved around a lot, so it was definitely the friends.
But I mean, like, making a decision to like cut someone off.
I wouldn't say it was a friend. Because, yeah, it was a friend.
Mine was too. But I'm curious because I want to know, like, do you handle the situations differently? Like, do you cut off friends differently than you cut off family? And, like, did you learn about cutting off a friend first and then it was easier to cut off family? Or did you cut family off first and then it became easier to cut off friends? Like,
for me, I'm going to say I cut off a friend first, just because it was really on some, like, at a young age. I was like, this is petty and this is childish. I think I was like 12 and I was like, this isn't, I'm too grown for this. But
at 12, okay.
But I want to say it wasn't necessarily easy because I thought, like, I don't know, I just put too much into people. Like, I'm always just like, oh, well, this is my friend, and, you know, she's going to be somebody who I can trust. And she hadn't given me a reason not to trust her, so I give you my trust off rip.
That's such a hard thing to navigate.
Yeah.
This is definitely a hard thing to navigate. Like, I never cut a friend off, but I have, but like, not like, oh, you did something wrong, I have to cut you off. It was just where my expression led to. Like, I started off doing, you know what I'm saying, the Taekwondo thing, had the Taekwondo friends, you know, picked up a skateboard. I'm not really messing with them no more, you know what I'm saying? I had these skater friends, you know what I'm saying? Oh, now it's time to start playing sports. Picked up the basketball on my friend's hoop, and it would just keep going like that. It wasn't like, so if they see me, it wouldn't be like oh, you just let me go high and dry, like, you don't, like,
you just on different
you just never going outside. They just look at me and like, bro, you switched up to that, bro, how can you do that, you know what I'm saying? That's all it is. But with the fam, it's been like,
so that's like where you feel like you've learned, like,
everything.
real relationships,
all
like
the relationships, cutting off people,
okay.
just more so delivery, delivery with women in particular.
Yeah.
You know, like especially like
because you grew up with a house
yeah,
of women.
Yeah,
women,
because
but
you were the only boy.
They
Yeah,
thought they were alpha though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They thought they were men when they would talk to me in like any way. You know what I'm saying? They thought they just had that type of, well, it's my brother, I'm just going, you know what I'm saying? I could get up here with it, but if he talks to me, he better not try it. You know what I'm saying? Over and over and over and over again. So I had to just realize delivery and come with the smoothness. You know what I'm saying? So when I would get out in real life and it was a girl, she's hitting me with that, I know how to come with the smoothness. I know how to come relieve that tension. I know stuff like that.
Right.
All because it was hot in the crib. And I would fail in the crib. You know? You gotta fail somewhere to win somewhere else.
That's very, very true. Very, very
That's an
true.
Interesting lesson to learn.
Exactly. Because, like, to be called abusive by somebody, you know what I'm saying, that's in your family. Yeah. And then, on the other hand, somebody you just meet, you're the Prince Charming. It's just, I don't even know how to explain it, but it happens.
Yeah. So do you think
it's delivery. It's just delivery.
I always think about the way that, you know, because everybody has a different version of you and like their lives.
Like real talk, really, it's delivery. Like I just came up, like not come up with that, but like has everything to do with delivery. I think that's what Miss Lotus had called and said that she, you know, said she had those talks, and it's hard seeing your kid or people that you mess with and not deliver to them what you're trying to get across. It's that communication.
But is it at a point you gotta understand that the communication has to change. Like it can't be like you will be doing this. It's like, hey, here's a suggestion.
Exactly.
You could do this.
And it's different with everybody.
Yeah.
I talk completely different to all of my friends, and I talk, and I mean not different in like the sense of like, oh, I'm, you know, but I handle them differently. Yeah. And I handle my family members differently because not everybody reacts to everything the same way.
There's probably one person I treat differently than the rest of my family, and that's my mom. Yeah, I am more like talkative to her, but like when it comes down to like I'm very like surface, very cordial, very like chill, whatever. But like when it comes to like having conversations, I'll talk to my mom.
That's
like
the only person in your family that you'll talk to.
That I'll talk to, but like nothing else. It's just very. It's very.
See, so that will make it even easier to cut people off, though, because you haven't gotten you haven't gotten deep with your family. That's like, man, like that's how I am with my great grandparents. Like, I feel terrible because I feel like I'm supposed to know them super well. I'm supposed to, and I feel like they want to know me, but it's just like the conversations don't happen.
Yeah, they just don't happen.
They don't happen. And so it's like a lot easier, like when, you know, something happens with them, or like, you know, I mean, God forbid, but like when something, if and when something does happen, when, you know, it's going to be a lot easier to deal with than like my mom, or like my brother, or like my dad, you know what I'm saying?
Right, of course.
So I feel like that also affects like how easy it is to cut people off, is like the depth of the relationship that you have with that person.
Oh, of course.
You know?
Of course. It would be so much harder, like, it would be so much harder for me to cut you off than if I cut off Shelby. You know, that's a different relationship. That's somebody I've like known for a year now, almost 2, and like that I consider her a friend. Truly, I've trusted her. I've told her things that she's a very personal friend of mine. But like, if it came to you, having to cut you off compared to her, that's like completely different type of like conversation, and completely different anxiety behind that conversation of whether or not I would even be able to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I definitely see what you're saying.
Because like I would probably give you a chance to like do better. You know, if it came down to like you weren't, you were just starting to bring negative, or you were draining me.
It's just funny because I can't even
like imagine that happening. Yeah. But if you were draining me, or you were negative, or it's just like I felt like you were like putting me down, it would be really hard for me to be like, oh well, I'm gonna just cut her. It's easy. Because it's just like...
But you've invested in me. You know what I'm saying? You haven't invested in your family the way that you've invested in me. You know
but here's the thing. They've shown me off the rip that it wasn't like that for me. You know what I mean? It wasn't that easy to just invest like that. Because, I mean...
That's so hard, though, because they didn't... like family, like you're born into that. You don't choose
exactly.
anything,
You're born
you know?
into that, and being born into that, you see from like the get go of like how kind of things go. You grow up around them, and you see. Like I lived in St. Louis, and we used to go to Chicago every weekend or every other weekend, and I would be around like that's the bulk of my mom's family. I would be around them, and I would see like how they are, and just what you call it, and just understand that this isn't the way I want my relationships to go.
That's really good that you noticed that.
Yeah.
Especially at such a young age.
Yeah.
Because it took me a long time to really pick up on the dialogue and the relationships between my family. I had this cousin, I still love her to death today. Like, she's so cool. Like, we always vibe real well. But, like, probably like 3 years ago, I was like, dang, she really don't, like, treat my family right.
Yeah.
Like, it took me a long time. Like, I would call her all the time, hey, like,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But, like, now she's not really in my life. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
like,
right.
That's good that you realize that.
Yeah.
Honestly. For real. 'Cause most people don't.
No, and it's easy to like try to pretend like you don't see it and be like, oh, well, it's family. That's just how family is, blah, 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 and keep going with it. But to be like, be me and be very surface and not go into my family and try to like make that a relationship like that I can go to, I would have to change who I was as a person
in order to even open up to them.
Completely.
Dang. That's crazy.
I would have to become a different person in order to be like in with my family. Like I have a lot of like the family that I have here, they play sports. They're very like football, basketball, baseball. They're very sport athletic people. Girl, when I go to family things and they're talking about sports,
yeah, it's tough.
And I'm just like, okay.
They don't reach out.
Yeah, they ask me, how's school? Theater is cool. That's awesome.
Back to it.
I'm just like, it's just like, okay. So that's why I was just like, I understand where I lie, and I'm not gonna try to force anything. I'm not gonna try to make it something that it's not. If it's not just a smooth, easy, like, whatever. And I'm not talking about like, oh, every time I see you guys, it's gonna be like amazing and we're never gonna have conflict. But if it's not, like, I can't see you without it being some like bullcrap drama or something, it's just like, I'm good. I'd rather not.
Dang, that's crazy that you ended up like completely different than your family, bro.
Completely different, bro. Completely. And I don't knock them.
Why do you think that is though? Like, how are you the only person that ended up different than like literally everybody in your family?
Blessings. I have a guardian angel that was like, girl, you'd better shut up and sit down. No, I think it was just a lot of like, because my mom, she would be around the family and we would go back and I see like how she kind of like talked about the family afterwards, and then I would like peep that and like the family. And then I would peep, like, things that she does, and I was like, I see why y'all have conflicts or whatever, and I would just take that, and it would always being observant of everybody's choices that they have made and to see where they're at right now, because, like, I look at everything, and I'm always just like, okay, I see what you did to get to here, to go to there, to be there, so you're now here. And that means with relationship, with your job, with your kids, with your pets, like, everything, the house you own, the car you drive.
Pets.
Yeah, like the kind of pet you have.
It's not even that deep.
It is, bro. It is so deep. Pets? Because if you don't have pets, I understand, like, you're just not that type of person who, like...
Yeah.
You analyzing somebody else's
pets? I do. My mom does not like to have pets, and I understand the kind of person that she is because of it. We had pets because I wanted, like... Us as kids wanted the pets, but once we started to grow up, she's like, no, I don't want to deal with it. And I was like, okay. But now, I understand, like, she doesn't like pets, period. She didn't want them in the first place.
Yeah. The only reason like, I feel like I'm, like, different from my family is, like, my family they like to have, say if you were at a game, the first row of seats, you know what I'm saying? They want to watch the game. Mm-hmm. They want to just have that front row seat, just like, hey, we're at the game, we're watching. I always just wanted to be in the game.
Oh, wow.
So I always had to approach everything more different and more like hands-on and like less laid back. So they would look at me like, you cannot relax with it, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why do you always have to go to the gym? Like, why do you always have to do it, bro? Like, always, bro. Like, I'm tired, I do not want to take you. And then I'd be like, you don't want to take me? How am I supposed to get, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it'd be some stuff like that. But that's the only thing. So that was like what my dad was for, because he was the only one that was like that.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, go play.
Yeah. Like, no, not even go play. Like, I'm right there.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I'm right here.
I'm in it with you.
And he was really big into when I was in Taekwondo. He was like any competition, and we would be like the odd ducks, like just like so underdog. Like, we're going fighting Asians, all types of people from all over the world, and I'd just be shutting it down. Like, who are these people? Kwaku, what is that? Let me get your last name, take a picture. And then it was just super fun. When I lost that, I was like, I'm going straight to the streets. I'm going to find that.
Right.
I'm just going to be playing games.
Right. I feel that.
So that's the only disconnect with me and my family. Like, internally, I think the way we talk, the way we have fun is all the same, but just I need to be I
would say the way we have fun is pretty similar. Like, my family's loud. And
you know what I'm saying? They're going to listen to music. They're going to, especially with their own group of people that vibe with them on that level, like, they're so just, like, I could see them be like me with people that are
like
close to them. Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah,
in their fields, whatever they do.
You feel like you're like your family?
Yeah, I do.
I think that's necessary. Like, that's beautiful to have that connection in that way.
Yeah, but it's different because I feel like sometimes I have to like separate myself from that and like really, because I take into account like everything my family says. Like, I'm very like
observant.
Yeah, and I just love, I appreciate their opinions.
Yeah, and their feedback
a lot, like way too much almost, because it affects what I do sometimes, because I'm always like, I'll come up with something and I'll think about it, and then but they think differently than me. They think that's our disconnect, is like the way I think about things and want to go about things is like completely different than like my mom, way different than my mom, and then like a little bit different than my dad, because me and my dad are alike, but our delivery is different.
Is it safer or more risky?
What do you mean?
The way you be thinking about what things that you're about to do.
No, so like I want to be I kind of want to say risk taker, but I'm more on the safe side of it. But I think bigger. And so it's me trying to like push envelopes and really understand everything versus like, so like say like if I have to do the dishes, like I'm trying to understand the way I'm trying to put the dishes in the dishwasher. Like I come up with the system in my own head and I try to understand it. And if it's different, I want to know why. But my mom and my dad are both like, well, here's how it needs to get done. And, you know, like my mom's like, do it this way. And I'm like, well, I need to know why. Like, I'm trying to figure it all out. And my dad's like, let me tell you once, it's like this, and it's done. And I'm always like, well, I need to go deeper into it. Like, that's how I think about things, and that's how I relate things to my life. And so they don't really see it that way. And so it's kind of like that with all my family, really, is like trying to understand, and like that's our biggest disconnect, is me trying to get them to understand what's going on in my mind, and for me to also translate to them that I understand what's going on in your mind, but like
you're not reciprocating
you know what I'm saying? It's just not the same.
So is it all just for the balance? Because it looks like everybody has something that balances them out. Like, my family is, they don't want to be in the game, but that's the balancing factor. Like, when I'm with them, maybe I should just
I mean, you got to learn how to navigate that.
You know what I'm saying? Or when you want to go deep, diving into something, and your dad just wants to show you, bro, this is the way real quick. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's here at the surface.
Just take it as it is.
It doesn't go deeper, you know? But you have to learn how to appreciate that, though.
Exactly.
Because, I mean,
to an extent, though, it has to be a balance, because you are you at the end of the day. And the best you is the most extreme you. And that's what they're not understanding. Like, I'd be like, bro, like, if I'm this, I have to be this at the end of the day.
And I have to understand.
But sometimes it's not as simple to just be this. There are different aspects of you all the time. You know,
and that's what it is. I mean, it's and that's the thing, like, we're talking about this differently because it's family. You know, if a friend was saying this, we would just take, if I come to you for advice, I hear your advice, I hear it, I digest it, and then I apply whatever I feel like was necessary to what I already think. You know what I'm saying? Right. But when it comes to family, we look at it differently. You know what I'm saying? Like, it becomes like, oh, well, this is like a lesson I need to hear. Like, this is my family talking to me. Like, you know, and in my case,
I completely understand
and so
that.
it becomes different, but why? Like, that's the thing. Like, is it really thicker than water? Like, is blood really that thick? You know what I'm saying? Like, because I take into account, like, so much. Like, there's things that I've missed because I was, like, trusting, you know, something that a family member of mine had said to me, and I was like, dang, I should have just dove in and, like, did whatever I wanted to do. Like, and so, like, it's pointless at that point because I feel like you should just take things with a grain of salt, and, like, even if it doesn't match up with what you think, like, you learn from it and then you move. Like, but we don't do that with our family. We just
take it.
We let it. It's like big. You know what I'm saying?
And I definitely agree with that when I say, like, because when it comes to, like, something that your family does to you, like, they hurt you in any way, shape, or form, it's like, you hold on to that in certain ways that you would, like, a friend, if they came to you and was like, sorry, it's just like, oh, it's fine, it's a whatever. But, like, that's what I had to navigate, and that's why I think I'm able to kind of let go of family easily, because it's just like I'm able to let go of the situation, so I'm easily able to let go of you. I forgive you for anything you've done. I hope you forgive me for whatever I've done to you, which is usually not a thing. But
why you look like you just?
I'm not perfect.
There's two sides to every story.
I am not perfect. My problem is I am cold and I'm detached and I'm rude. I have an attitude. That's my problem. I'm telling you.
So then it's not always sweet again?
It's not always sweet. It really isn't. However, I understand that I can. If you need to let me go, let me go.
Okay.
I'm going to let you go. Don't be mad.
But it doesn't always have to be that, though. There is solutions
to the problem, but if nobody wants to make those, if you don't want to fix your side, if I go in and I fix my side and you don't want to fix your side, that's not fair. You know what I mean? I'm always working on me. I'm always trying to make me better, to be, you know, a cohesive person, to be around and to be dealt with. But if you don't want to deal with it, then...
Yeah, but I feel like there's always something to appreciate.
What if trying to be cohesive is you having to come so far down on your vibes?
What do you mean?
Like, and that's what I don't think is risk. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, lowering, like, your frequency to match up with theirs, and that's what you said. Like, you didn't want to do. I don't think it's worth it. Like, you don't want to become a different person to match up with theirs.
Right. Because I feel like it's not just
that's
about
the only part with it where it's like
frequency. I think it would just be like a complete, like, behavioral shift, a complete, like, mental shift that would have to happen in order for me to be around them. I can go around them on some real surface barbecue, we just Easter kind of thing. I don't even celebrate that stuff, but I'm gonna be like there hanging out, cool, done. We're there for like a couple hours. I'm back home. I get to be in my own energy. But if it was to be like, oh, let's go do this, let's go do that, let's blah blah blah, like the way we hang out, it's just like I couldn't do that, because then after like the second time we hung out on a back-to-back basis, I'd be so annoyed.
And that's like with me too. And I just be feeling like is that a problem with me, because I know that they're kind of even just happy that I'm there, even though I'm starting not to be happy that I'm there.
That's true. You know I do like, sense that a lot. My family,
it's not like they're the ones that's just like, I don't want you here.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
That's definitely the same on my
so it's just tough. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like,
hard,
jeez, is it me low key, dog? Like on the lowest key.
Is it just me creating a problem in my head? No. Because I thought that for
I feel like we're at curse but I feel like we're cursed with just had some dope friends.
Yes.
That put some dope energy in us to make us have a vision that's so tunnel. Like, you know what I'm saying? I could see if they were just some
cool.
See you, bro. Going back to mom's house. Have a good day. But like we got friends like that just know. They just know exactly what their delivery is right for us in this like current situation that we're in. Their delivery spot on, and just the voices or where you're going or the environment or what you're listening to, it's not like that with your family. I feel like that's what would be making us feel like, bro, this is annoying, bro. I'm not trying to stay.
Yeah.
They're about to come over too.
Yes.
You know
Oh my God,
saying?
they're spending the night.
But if it was your friends, you know what I'm saying?
Geeked.
But we choose our friends.
Exactly. No, we choose. We don't choose.
And okay, so like, are we wrong?
That's the
to
biggest
like,
fact. We choose our friends.
Yeah, but are we wrong to? Okay, so is it wrong or right to not try to elevate your like to accept? If we have friends and I see my friends are lacking in something, I'm gonna try to elevate them. They're my friends. You know what I'm saying? But we don't.
It's just cool.
I do that with my family now, but I didn't used to because I understand what it feels like to have friends around.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, is it wrong?
But it's also
to,
you
like,
have to understand the family member that you're trying to elevate. You know what I mean? Because sometimes they'll take that as criticism and they'll be like, oh, so I'm not good enough to hang around you, huh? I'm not on your level, huh? Blah blah blah. And that's where that's
big.
It
like
starts
that's
to become,
big. Like if it was me, it goes back to delivery. Like sometimes you gotta treat. I'm not even just trying to say this on the mic, but like I'm just now learning this in this conversation. Because I do it with other people, but with the fam, I don't do it. You know what I'm saying? You got to treat it like it's low-key your boyfriend or your girlfriend, and your delivery. You know what I'm saying? You don't just go up to your boyfriend and, I mean, you do hit them with what you got to change and whatnot, but the delivery is more calculated, and it's like, I keep you around, but let's see a little change.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But the delivery of your mom, you know what I'm saying? The delivery with your parents or your mom, your sisters, and they're lacking in something, it's usually a little harsher.
Yeah.
It's just harsher.
It's a little more blunt.
And it's all back to that delivery, just hitting them the right way, subtly. You know what I'm saying? So they don't feel like, oh, damn, I'm being attacked by my brother. Who do you think you are? That's the first thing I get, like, bro, who do you think you are right now?
That's really
Especially
the biggest
you're young
thing.
too. You're the youngest, right?
No, I'm the middle.
Okay.
Exactly.
So I'm the youngest, and I'm over here trying to like, you know, trying to put
and I'm
y'all
like
on
in the
game,
middle
like,
by time. It's not like 2 years. It's like 7. You know what I'm saying? So me trying to speak is like, sit down, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? You're tall, bro. You're tall, but chill. You know what I'm saying? You don't know, but. So the delivery has to be different, just more thought out.
Is it selfish to not want to not wanting even like
like,
going?
are we wrong? Would I be
selfish?
wrong to like not try to elevate my family and just do the cutoff? You know what I'm saying?
I feel like dude, it is selfish.
Yeah,
it is selfish, but not like to where it's just negative. It's just that's you. You know
sometimes you have to be selfish.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's really
exactly.
What it comes
that's
down to.
just you. But like
but
to be the
try?
best you,
the
best you, like if it's really gonna be a high vibe, if you're gonna go out here and really like tell people live a great good life and be like me or be close, you know what I'm saying? You gotta go fix that.
Right, you have to go in.
Or at least try to fix it. So at least you can't say in that field you're not trying.
Yeah, I feel that.
You can't just be out here.
But what if after you have tried, they say,
I'm
gonna do something.
Cool.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. I'm just saying you can't be out here not trying over there and then just like letting everybody know to keep trying like in whatever situation.
Facts.
I feel that.
That's like the biggest thing I learned about myself. It's like if I'm gonna push other people, like I have to push myself.
Live what you preach.
Aspect,
exactly.
Every aspect.
Live what you preach.
Definitely.
I completely agree with that because I don't know. It's easy to just say, do this, be better, be a good person, live a good life. But it's harder to like apply that to your own life when you know stuff gets a little hot and you're like, I really don't want to deal with this right now. I could just go home, get in my bed.
You could just
and not.
You could just.
Yeah.
We could all just.
Yeah,
you know
but it's just like that's where going that extra mile comes in to where you're on the high vibe and you're like, this is what you should be doing. Look at me, I do this. I'm not just saying blah, 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 do this. But I guess maybe I should work on my familiar relationships.
I mean...
I should work on using, you know what I'm saying, like my intelligence to be able to deliver it the right way to my family.
Right.
Like, if it might be very subtly, whatever approach I might have to take, if it's not subtle, if it's brash or whatever, but just like be able to do that as easily as I could do it anywhere else.
That's what I'm saying. Like, we're sitting here and doing all these great things and like inspiring goals to inspire people and like really change and innovate things in the world, the craft that we do. But like, are we really gonna do that if we don't start like at home? Like, I think about it like this is just coming to my mind now, but like racism and like it's like home, that's taught in the house. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's taught with the people closest to you. Like, you have to keep those people accountable not to be racist, you know? But like, if I'm trying to tell the world not to be racist, but I have a racist like friend or like brother or something, like I don't, but I'm saying like if I did, like, am I really doing my job if I don't tell my brother not to be racist? If you couldn't
even get past that,
you know what I'm saying? Like, but then again, like also like
people
don't believe you. People closest to you don't believe you until you know.
So many
you know
other
what
people
I'm saying?
outside.
So like, how do you?
That's another key.
That's true.
That's another key. That's what.
True.
So maybe you should wait till you get that.
Yeah, and be like, hey,
I'm not just saying this.
Like, look, I tried to tell y'all. Now, now we gotta do it.
You know, so now we gotta do it. And really, that's the way it goes.
That actually, that is how it works.
Yeah.
I actually got that advice.
You have like a platform. For people to
so
look
other
at.
People, and that's the thing is like your family sees you as your family. Like my mom sees me as her daughter, not a person. So I mean, if I'm sitting here and then I have all these other people looking at me like what I really am, what I see, you know, then all of a sudden it'll switch for my mom to see not just her daughter but a person. Which is really what it takes.
Okay, so my advice to people navigating how to cut off or how to deal with family is just the delivery.
That's a good one though.
The delivery.
Honestly.
Or
an understanding like who
delivering that cut, you know, how to deal with, hey, I'd like, or just not even, it doesn't even have to be a cut. It could just be a time for space that's needed. You take space from, you know, your boyfriend. Whenever y'all go on a break, y'all are like, okay, listen, I just need some space right now to think about like everything, focus on me, whatever. So take space, take time.
The needed space.
Yes.
Okay, that's a good one.
But this was actually a really good conversation. I learned some things that I could apply to my situation.
Did, yeah.
So thank you guys. I am Akema Mba.
One with the way.
I'm Haley, guys.
Speak up, HighVibe. We'll see you next Monday.
Let's get it.